This would be week 217 since I started HRT. And that week, my breasts were hurting on and off. Itching too. Let's see here. Other changes. Facial hair is still doing the same. Nothing I can do about that right now. So the best thing I've been doing is shaving. So yeah, I'm shaving that whenever I need to. I really haven't noticed much with my underarm hair, but it's like just right through the middle of a strip going down like this on both sides is what's left. Well, that's where the most of it is, what's left. So, and I'm not too worried about that right now. It's most of my facial hair I don't like. It's nasty. I'm gonna call it nasties on my face. It's just what I always referred to it, is the nasties on my face. But right now I can see my cheeks, all this, how they're really full. Yeah. And this is just what I look like as of today, even though I haven't been back on the HRT since, for a few months or so. Part of it, yes, is a money issue, but I do have the money to get 1 month's supply for my prescriptions, but I haven't, for reasons I'm just not going to go into details, because part of it is the money issue, and I'm getting ready to start the process to get on the SSI to finish, because I'm already on the insurance. Just need to get on the other parts, so that's what my focus is on. So even though I've mentioned that I'm going to be really starting this, I've been procrastinating on it. That's a symptom of Asperger's I don't like, is procrastination, because that happens constantly and constantly, and it's not really my fault. Well, part of it is, but part of it isn't, because the symptoms of Asperger's I don't like. The other symptom I was having, the urinary issue, it's gotten a little bit better on its own, so, but not too much. The way you eat does affect it, and how much water you drink. Like if I drink so much water in the morning, too much, then I have to constantly, like, probably like 10 times in a row, like full bladderfuls. Yeah, and there's strong urges to need to go, so that's something with Asperger's I don't like. And I've had that for as long as I can remember, and I didn't know really why it was like that until I learned more about Asperger's, and when I was diagnosed with it, then I actually started learning more about it, and then I was like, oh, that makes sense. So yeah. Let's see, what else can I think of? Down there is still doing the same, but as of right now, I could say the erection part isn't as well. From time to time, like, yeah, I can say, like, sometimes it could be a time from here to here where it's like kind of normal, then from like here to here it has a harder time with getting one and keeping it, I could say. So it's, yeah, varies. So part of it was due to the prescriptions, yes, yes, and yes. And I'm not sure what else, but yeah. And my leg hair is still doing really the same. It's not really changed. The hair is still really thin, but it hasn't really thinned out anymore. I had to get back on the spironolactone and finasteride to get that to continue what's gonna do and what's not. So yeah. And I'm thinking about when I do get the money, like one of those hair removal type systems, like No, like I've mentioned in a different video. I was thinking about getting it. I'm not sure about the product. It's called Yes, if that's permanent or not, but that's a cheaper version, but I'm not sure if that's permanent. Ends up being permanent like the No, because I know the No for sure is permanent. It just takes time as it crystallizes the hair and you buff it off and everything. Then when it comes back finer and thinner and less hair comes back, then when you do it again, then it keeps crystallizing it, and when it does that over time, it kills it off, so it can't grow back. So that's what I was thinking of getting when I get the money for my legs, so I don't have to spend an extreme amount of money to get my legs done with laser, because it's $160 per half leg. That's for half a leg. Now add that for the other half of the leg times 2. Yeah, that's like a lot. That's for just one treatment. So taking that amount of money, then buying something like the No. I've paid once for it. Get to keep it forever. Just have to replace the tips every now and then when you're supposed to. And see the price difference if you add it up over time. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing for my legs. And any other body hair that could be there, like just a little bit that under the belly button, the tummy area where I have gained. The hair is coming a little bit, but getting back on the prescriptions, I know that will help with it like it did the last time. So no other body hair issues. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know if I want to mention this or not, but let's see here. I could say if family's watching this video, I don't think you want to hear this. So I'd say skip past this, because this is something you really don't want to know what I've done. Because I've wanted to try something in a sexual way, I can say, just to experience my body more and figure more things out, like how BDSM, like being tied up kind of a thing, breasts being tied up and being bound together, like, yeah, I wanted to try that. So I was trying to figure out how they would do it, like having the breasts tied up right in the middle where it squeezes them. Yeah, wanted to try that. So the only thing I could think of was like string. That didn't work. I was trying to figure out how to get it to work. I was like, wait a minute. So I decided to try using rubber bands, and I was having a hard time with one rubber band. So I added 2 rubber bands. Then I was able to get it to get around the tissue and to stay. to do that. Because I've tried it before in the past. But this time I really wanted to try it because my breasts are much bigger than what they were back then, and um, I was able to get the right side on better than the left side. My left breast is bigger than my right breast, so it was kind of difficult trying to get it on the left side. But when I did that, I kind of overdid it because it was too tight, and I kind of broke a little bit of capillaries and caused bruising on top of my breasts. And they swelled up a lot, and the tissue swelled up and got much bigger, and I got up to 37 inches. It was swelled up and whatnot, and it was itching and hurting. And as they healed, I noticed the shape, especially my left breast, is more rounded, like going this way, and more towards the middle when it's pressed in, wearing a bra. And this side kind of went that way too. And it didn't really look like there was much of a bruise, just like a little yellow spot like right here, but then it went all bruised, and it's kind of, the skin went scaly right here, like it was, yeah, it wasn't fun, but it healed up within a week. I did it on a Monday, I can say, then that whole week it healed, and still it's finishing healing, like the areola on this side kind of broke a little capillary in it, and it kind of, yeah, it wasn't fun process for my breast to heal from that, but yeah, but it was an experience. It actually, for some reason, I can't explain why, but it felt good. Like, because how the breasts are really sensitive, that actually felt good, but the aftermath didn't. So, and yeah, other than that, I measured my breasts. There's since they've healed, and they still measure 36.5 inches. And I really wish the tops of my breasts, which is after I did all what I did, the tissue actually on the top has spread out a little bit more, like this. So it's a little bit fuller, a little bit down here fuller, but it's not really full everywhere else. So I'm still gaining top tissue here and there, and I just wish everywhere would gain, but the top tissue finished. I wish on my breasts the top tissue would finish filling in, so that part won't be undeveloped. Then just wish the rest of it would just increase in size to where I can wear one cup size and one cup size only. I don't like to be able to fit in several different cup sizes depending on the brand and the sizing and whatnot. Like in juniors or adults, I just want to fit in one size and just be done. But they're still growing slowly, itching and hurting. And by my measurements, my band is a 32, and the cup is 36.5 inches. That makes it 4.5 inches above my band size. That makes me a 32D, but going by the measurements, because it's that half size, they usually say go up a cup size, but the equivalent in sister sizing is a 34C. Um, so I tried the ones I do have on, like my Victoria's Secret Brahmana, and almost be able to fully wear them full time. It's just half an inch off or so. It's still off, like I'd say a cup size off. So that's what's kind of difficult. So the size I am wearing is a 34B. That the back band, it's the ones I tailored the back band to fit like a 32. And this is what they look like. If you can see that, that's pretty much what my breasts look like. So nothing special. Yeah, they look bigger when I sit down. Yeah, but that's pretty much what they look like. Because the bra I'm wearing doesn't really give me cleavage, that's the shape I wanted for that the whole time before I even started transitioning. I wanted that specific shape and size, like a large 32C with where I could have cleavage. That's I've always thought my breasts would look like, but as they grew and grew and got to where they are, it wasn't really like that. So just have to wait until they're done growing. So I want to get back on the HRT, whatever the HRT will do, because it could be a whole another year before they stop growing from the HRT. Because I know like cisgender girls, like I could mention one, but after she's gone through puberty and whatnot, and she's older than I am, but her breast through her 20s actually went through a second growth and got bigger. So with people, it can, even after the fact you go through all that puberty stage, your breast can grow again. She's never been pregnant or anything, and she's a little overweight, but her breasts have gained. So even us trans women, that could happen. So it's not like rocket science. It's just whatever your body does, it's gonna do. So I'm just hoping they get to a large, like well endowed kind of a large. But then I was thinking after they finish growing, getting natural augmentation, where they put the fat in there, increase the size. I've been thinking about that. But that's $7,000 when I looked into it. And I was thinking, $7,000? That's $1,000 less than the cheapest I could get the surgery here in the United States. Like at the University of Miami Research Center, the doctor, I think his name is Dr. Salgado. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce his name, but when I looked into it, he charged $8,000 for the surgery, the full surgery, but I'm not sure if that includes the anesthesiologist and the hospital stay and like the recovery house and all that. If it includes all that or not. So I'm gonna contact them and see if that includes that or not. Then compared to like Marcy Bowers. Her price is everything all together, like the dilators, the hospital stay, the anesthesiologist, and the recovery house, all that, and the surgery. Just like everything is all in one price. So I'm gonna, cause that's the next cheapest. No, as Christine McGean is the next cheapest, then Marcy Bowers. And Christine McGean and Marcy Bowers is also trans, if you didn't know that. But I was thinking, I'm probably gonna go with what I can afford. So it's probably gonna be the cheapest one, the $8,000 surgery for the whole thing. And yeah. So that's what my plan is. Probably when I'm able to save money, save it, check into it to see how much it's going to be the difference, and save as much as possible. And yeah. And sorry for the video going a little bit long, but I just wanted to mention that. So, and sometimes if you get a tracheal shave, shaving this down so it's flat, which is, I haven't had any issues with that. So, but if you get it at the same time, it has the male to female one stage surgery where it consists of everything without revising the labias, because that's, if you do two stage surgery, they revise the labias more. That's what the second stage is focusing on the labias itself, making them look a lot better. But I'm just planning on getting the one stage surgery just so I can get everything and be done with it. And yeah. And see how much the discount is with all that for tracheal shave, because I'm thinking of getting tracheal shave at the exact same time, then save up the money for everything. So yeah. And other than that, that's my plan. So when I contact them, and if their price is everything together still cheaper, then I will go to them. But then if it's not cheaper, I'm thinking about just going to Marcy Bowers for the surgery. So whatever the cheapest option is here in the United States, that's what I'm going to end up going with, because saving up the rest of the money for the surgery from what was already donated, it's kind of difficult right now. So that's just the big plan. So, and I'm still thinking about getting a girlfriend, trying to figure that out. I'm thinking about just joining a dating site and just do it that way and be done with it. Because I'm starting to get to that point where I'm more ready, but I want to get back on the HRT and get financially stable and ready and whatnot. Then do that. And yeah. Then I was thinking about, for me, becoming pregnant, have it implanted inside of me. It would have to be outside a uterus because I don't have a uterus, and I'm not going to go through all that just to get a uterus. And yeah. And that's what I'm thinking. So whoever I end up with probably would have to take her egg and my sperm, combined it, but we'll figure that out when that time comes, when I get into that relationship and whatnot, and married. I want to be married first, and yeah, and want to have the surgery first before all that. But in turn, I've looked into how much it's going to cost to store the sperm, and it's like initial things like $750 initial cost. Then it's like a 200 and something or 500 something dollar maintenance fee each year to maintain it. So yeah, and if it's even viable years on when they're maintaining it is another thing. So that's another issue with that being expensive. So the best plan would be to have kids before the surgery, but I want to have the surgery first and be healed from it, and yeah. So that's my concern. And that's like a maintenance fee for, I think it's for the whole year. For each year is a maintenance fee. But that's my plans and what I've been thinking, and yeah. But I've been happy. Just been really irritated about the little excess body hair. It's all. And my breasts not being fully developed. Like, let's see, like a small 32 double D being that. Like 37 inches on top. Even though if it's small, that's what I want to be when they're done growing. And try to get as a large 32 double D as possible to where I won't be able to wear any C cups. Some I get to the point where more of my C cups I have don't fit, or getting to that point they're like too tight and or dig in like down through here where the wire is, it digs in. So, but some still fit. And my favorite bra, the corselet, that one, that style, it seems like it's stretched out a little bit, and on the tops through the tops through here, there's little excess fabric, so there's like a small little gap there, and that's what I'm trying to get to my breasts where that doesn't happen, so I can wear a larger cup size instead of having to wear the smaller one in that sizing. So yeah, that's just my plan for overall. And yeah, so I'm probably gonna wait on getting augmentation and take that amount of money, like $7,000, put it towards the surgery instead and get the surgery done. And yeah, and hopefully I'm in a relationship before I get the surgery so we can plan things and get how she feels and how I feel together about having kids and whatnot, and getting that process going towards marriage and whatnot when that time comes, a year after we've been together at least. Because the way I view marriage, you should be together as a couple, like boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend, whatever works. Be together for at least a year. Then, like, towards the end of that year, if you both feel it's the right thing, like a promise ring or something, but at least a whole year, then the next year you can be engaged. So that's 2 years right there. Then after that whole year of being engaged, then the next year, marriage. That's how I feel. So you be together 2 full years and engaged for 1. Like be together in a relationship for a whole year, then engaged for the next year, then the third year is when you'd get married sometime that next third year. And that way you get the time to know each other and find out if it's going to work for you in the relationship and whatnot. Because that's what I feel is like the promise ring is like a trial before the engagement. Then if that works out, then the engagement is the big trial before getting married. So for marriage, and yeah, that's how I feel. So that whole year to get to know each other, then be engaged in second year, sometime during that second year, and the third year, I say if it works out, then get married. That's how I view things, and yeah. So sorry for the video going really long again, but that's how I view things, and yeah. So whatever's gonna happen in the rest of this year and what's gonna happen is gonna happen, and whatever it does, and I'm just gonna take it one day at a time and see what happens, and yeah, with the rest of my transition, and hopefully getting to that next step and having a relationship. Hopefully someone that is supporting and accepts me for who I am, being a trans woman. That's the big thing right there, the acceptance part. Someone that will be there, someone I can be with for the rest of my life is what I'm looking for. How when you get married and make those vows till death do us part, that's what I believe in. And hopefully someone that can, even through the hardest times, and not have things go bad. That's how I feel, and yeah. Well, other than that, sorry for the video going long. If you haven't checked out my blog, the link's down there. I haven't done the blogs just yet, but I'm getting ready to do a bunch of them. So, and I want to mention one last thing. I'm still writing the book, and I've gone a little bit further in it, the book I've been writing. Then I started a second book, another book. It's a prequel to the first one that I'm writing, where it's about the main character from the second book. It's like the first book I'm writing, the prequel to it. It's what I'm writing. I just barely started writing it the other day, and that's about her adventures to the land of the fairies. How in the first book, how it mentions that's where she got her necklace and whatnot. On adventure to the land of the fairies. That's what this other book is about. So it's kind of really interesting how it's going. So then the first book I'm writing, it stands alone, like it's its own thing, and it stands by itself alone and works. But if you read that one first, you don't get things until you get further in it. Then when you reread it, you're like, oh, now that makes sense, how it words things. But then the other one, the prequel to it, if you read that one first, then when you read the other one, everything would already make sense, and the way things are worded, you're like, oh, okay, because that's just how it works. So I would suggest reading the first one before the prequel, just for that effect. So it's like, oh, when you finally get it, then it doesn't ruin things. So when you then read the other one that takes place before, then it's just really interesting how these books are going. So, well, until next time, comment, rate, and subscribe, and click the link from my blog, because I'm going to do a blog about the book too. Yeah, you just have to just read it when I get it done. So the link's always down there.